Hey, hi everyone. I'm going to prepare today the fish and prawn biryani. I'm going to first tell you all the ingredients that is required for the cooking, and then we'll go for the cooking next. So let's go ahead. So this is the prawns and basa fillet. I'm preparing mostly for 1 kg. So for the 1 kg, I just will show you all the contents that are required. We need some tomato and coriander leaves, and then mint leaves, homemade ginger and garlic paste, yogurt, white vinegar, salt, and then you have got chili powder, you have got all the masala items, and then the oil, and then you've got some ghee to get some taste, and then the homemade masala powder. Now before I go further, I'll first let you know how much quantity is required for 1 kg of the fish, and then we'll go to the step 2. Now step 2, let's marinate the fish for around 15 minutes. But I'll just first mix what is required before the marination. So first is the ginger garlic paste, which is around 1 tablespoon. 1 tablespoon. And then around 2 tablespoons of salt. Next 1 tablespoon of turmeric powder. And you have got 1 spoon of chili powder. And half teaspoon of the homemade masala powder. And then just 1 tablespoon of white vinegar. And we have to keep all these things and keep mixing it. Once the marination is ready, let's keep it for 20 minutes. Now coming to step 3. This is how the fish and prawns looks like after the marination. So take the big bowl, which can be used for cooking the biryani itself. So first we'll put some around 7 teaspoons of oil, and then slowly put the fish and prawns for the oil, so that it just fries. Don't do deep fry, just fry for around 3 to 4 minutes, so that it is like half kind of fry for the fish and prawns. Yes, thank you. Now coming to step 4, while the prawns and fish is getting medium fried like this, in parallel we will try to boil some water. So keep the water around the big bowl, around half the liter of the water, and then I need to first cook the rice like half cooked. But to get the flavor to the rice, I have to first boil the water with a couple of biryani spices, and then once it's boiled, I need to just put the rice and then cook it for medium cook. Yeah. Now water is around 1 liter. Now I'll go with the item. First, couple of bay leaves, and then cinnamon stick little bit, and then we've got black cardamom and green cardamom, You get mace, around 2 mace, and then the cloves, around 4 cloves, and then you got star anise, and a little bit of coriander powder or coriander leaves, and then little bit of mint leaves. And just to get a garlic flavor, let's add one spoon of ginger garlic paste, and then around 1 spoon of the ghee. And 1 spoon of salt. So let it boil with all those spices so that the water get into the flavor, and then we will put the rice and then cook it for around the medium cooking, like 50% of the rice cooking. Okay. Now the prawns as well as fish has been fried properly, so keep it aside. Now in the same one where we have actually fried the fish and prawn, don't throw that oil, we can use that oil because that will have the flavor of the fish. So in the same oil, let's put 4 spoons of ghee. By the way, this is step 5. So put it onto the medium flame. By the way, this is also like boiling, whatever we have put, the water. The water is boiling right now with all the spices to get the flavor. Now, once the ghee is getting fried now, so we'll put couple of biryani spices over there. Again, let's go with green cardamom, and then cinnamon stick, around like 5-6 pieces of green cardamom, and like around half cinnamon stick. You got mace and star anise, around 5 mace and around 6-7 small star anise. And you got cloves, around 9-10 cloves. Put the bay leaves as well. Once it is frying, fried for some time, and then we put once around like 3 spoons of ginger garlic paste. that add onions. So these are around 4 onions we had cut initially. And then the chilies, I put around 10-11 chilies, but to get the spicy biryani, but you can change the quantity based upon the spiciness that you need. So let this fry for some time, onions properly. So now the onions and then all the biryani spices, chilies, and then the everything is getting properly fried. You can see how this looks like mostly. So it's like this is how it will look like. So it's not at properly fried. So keep it for some more time. So while this is getting fried, so the water is now ready with all the spices. So we have to put the rice which we have kept aside slowly in order to boil the rice. We just put slowly so that it evenly spreads in the bowl. Once you put the rice, just mix it once so that all the spices can get the flavor into the rice. So keep it for some time so that now the rice will boil. We have to just put half of the rice before we put the rice into the biryani, the masala that we have prepared. Just keep it the rice there. So it's been almost like around 7 minutes of the rice. So this is how it will look like now, the onions with little bit brownish. You can have a look at this, how actually it looks. So this normally looks little bit now properly, little bit brownish. That means now it is ready for us to put again a couple of more things onto it. So next one is around garam masala powder. Put around 3 spoons of garam masala powder. This is actually homemade, but you can get from outside the stores as well. So use 3 spoons of the masala powder. Once you put it, keep it for some time again, around 2-3 minutes. Once that is done, 3 minutes, I'll be putting now the tomatoes as well as the pudina and coriander leaves again to get the flavor, additional flavor to the mix. Okay. And coming to the rice, we have taken some time almost. This also took around like 8-9 minutes. Now you can see the small bubbles coming up on the top. That means the rice is now ready to be mixed with the biryani mix that we did, as well as the fish and prawns. Just have a look at it. We have all the spices above with the bubbles coming up on the rice. Now it's been almost like 12 minutes of the cooking of the onions and the biryani spices. Now we will add the tomato. We cut around 7 tomatoes and then mix the tomatoes with the spices and the onions.
So get the tomato fried up with the onions and the biryani spices, so that it gets little bit water out of it, which can be used mainly to put the fish, and then get the water properly flavored into the fish and prawns later.
Yeah, now it is actually now turned to very dark brown. You can see the mix is actually properly done brown. That means now we can go now add just 3 more things now. One is the coriander, remaining leaves that you got, and then the mint leaves. Mix them once. Now you add the yogurt, around 4 big spoons. Mix it properly.
Get the yogurt here. Now mix. You just do it properly. Mix it from the bottom, so that it is done burn when it is getting cooked, and so that you can get the proper flavor mix of the yogurt, the coriander, mint leaves, along with the other initial ingredients that we made to make this biryani paste. This is actually the biryani paste which gives you most of the flavor to the fish, prawns as well as rice. So ensure this is the more important thing in the entire cooking. You need to focus so that you can get the proper flavor and ingredients mix to this particular biryani mix. So keep it for some time. Just actually smash it and then smash the tomatoes and then try mixing it for properly. And then once it is properly mixed, just keep it for some time so that it will cook. Maybe you can keep another 5 minutes there. Now once we put the yogurt and the mint leaves and coriander leaves, now the biryani paste has been prepared properly. So you can see the oil coming up from the bottom, which is the signal for you that you can actually cook now the fish and mix it with the paste. I'm trying to take the prawns first, because for the fish, if it is basa fillet or something, because I use the basa fillet fish, if you use that one while mixing, you have to be very careful, otherwise the basa fillet will be breaking into pieces when you are mixing it. So you have to mix it very properly. So what I will do is first I am trying to mix mainly the prawns, and then once that is settled down, I will mix it with the basa fillet. Maybe I'll just show you, because it's very important to properly mix it. I'll show you how you can mix it, and then I will add the basa fillet on top of it. I will not actually mix the basa fillet too much like prawns, because that will make the fish break into pieces. So just try to mix it, get the bottom of the paste into the prawns, so that the prawns get mixed properly. So once it is done, so don't mix the basa fillet. Let's put the fish as a layer on top of it, so that it is evenly spread out on the paste and can be mixed with the rice once I put it on top of that. So ensure you put it evenly so that it covers, the pasta covers the top layer without any gap. So if you have any gap, just try to fill it as much as possible. Now you can see how the top layer has formed with the pasta fillets. So I will look at it. It looks so yummy because I can feel the smell also, which gives so much good sense with all the spices coming on. And then once, well, you can just keep it for 3-4 minutes. Once this is cooked, I will put the rice onto the layers. Now this is the last step, so where we'll now mix the rice in layers to the biryani mix and to the fish. You can see now the fish has been, I kept around 4 minutes with the fish on top, so that you can see the below, the water and the oil is coming a little bit above. Now I will be actually mixing the layer. So for the layer I will use the rice, which I already mixed it with the biryani spices for flavor. These are the spring onions, and this is actually the saffron powder mixed with the milk. Keep it aside. This will actually give the color to the rice, and then little bit of coriander. So this has to be very properly done. So put one layer on top, evenly spread it out. To this add the spring onion, and then put this one, and maybe use the hand so that you can spread it out a little bit. Okay. Then you can use a little bit of coriander, spread it out. Now again you use the rice to spread it out on top of it. So you can use your spread it out. You can use this one like this. So maybe I will put again some more onions, little bit. I'll put. Then maybe I'll use this. Little bit. And then again little bit coriander. Put the remaining rice. So put all the remaining rice, whatever is left out, one more layer. Put the remaining spring onions, and then put the remaining saffron water on top of it. And then you can put the remaining coriander leaves
I'll get some more. Use this now, keep it for some time. So once we finish with the layers, we have to cook the rice and then the biryani mix for some time. Before that, it's better to get the tawa or the biryani tawa to properly cook. So it's better to properly tighten it up with the foil cover on the top and put a lid. And just to avoid any flame directly to coming to the biryani, I have put the dosa pan here so that it gets low flame as well as tightly coupled the lid. So keep it for around 15 minutes so that the biryani paste on the bottom of the tawa gets into the rice and then properly mixed with the biryani. Mix with all the prawns and spices. You can see how this looks like on the top. I'll just try to little bit taste. It's very hot. That's so tasty. Came out very well. Try from your side as well. It's very delicious and spicy biryani.